So, we're going live right now. Here we go. Bam, bam. Take that off. Beginnings off. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Interpreting the News with John. We have not been on in quite some time. And that would be because somebody decided that they were going to open their bar. So, as you've been following, that guy is the guy who opened his bar. Need to take a sip of my whiskey.
I'm going coffee now.
Okay. So, we have a special viral episode, is what I'm calling it. I'm calling it a viral episode because I was on CDC.gov the entire day. I am going to break some shit down that if you have any working brain cells left, you will understand the actual state of the world. And if you don't, you're a lost cause. Because what I'm about to tell everybody, and this is why I ask you guys to go to the pinned comment, because I'm going to show you proof from the CDC, how fucked up it all truly is.
That was easy.
And it is. So, we're going to start with infographic number 1. Follow me, because you guys...
I'm going to lose it.
He's gonna lose it, because I almost lost it, and I hold my shit together rather well. From the CDC, we have the COVID data tracker. Cases in the U.S. as of today, 29,613,017 in the U.S. Okay. Total vaccinations, 124 million. 124 million. Deaths in the U.S., 539,038. Okay. So if you're watching now on Facebook, you have the infographic in front of you, and you can see percent of people that died from COVID-19. This is basic mathematics. I don't know if they teach that anymore in Common Core and how they're dumbing down the citizens, the young citizens of the U.S. As Danny said soon, we won't remember there was a 1776 or why it was fought.
Getting rid of it.
Okay. Percentage of people that have died from COVID-19. 0.01820,274% of the people that contracted this virus have died, which leaves you with a percent of people that have survived COVID-19, as per the CDC.gov, 99.981797%. I did this as basic mathematics, okay? And now, remind you, there's only, I'll turn it back on. There's only, in this, the people that have actually been confirmed, there was 29,613,000 some odd. That was actually confirmed with positive tests, which leads you to say, what about the deaths? Well, the deaths of 539,000 some odd people that have sadly passed away could have been presumptive. It could have been the doctor thought so. It could have been no lab testing or autopsy even happened. That is factual.
What
Again.
happened to the flu?
Oh, we're going to get there. Don't jump ahead, motherfucker.
I don't know what you're talking about. You don't fill me in. I'm just here.
Danny's here. He said, why don't we do the news today? We haven't done the news. Oh, my God. I sat down with my Black Rifle coffee, and I sat on the CDC, and I dissected this. And I'm done.
I think I'm moving a whiskey.
I'm done. And you guys should be too. And the reason that this is so important to share, this needs to go everywhere. Why this episode is going to be need to see, because they're going to block it. This is going to go on my YouTube on We the People Are the News, which you can't find because it's shadow banned. They won't let me make the URL because it's shadow banned. And no one's going to know because they go through with their audio. You know how this works, right? They listen to our audio. You can turn on closed captioning. They know exactly what we say. They hear virus, COVID. They hear things that might be deemed conservative. It's gone.
Like you can't say bomb on an airplane? Like that?
Bomb, 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 bomb.
Probably shouldn't say it now. We're double shadow.
Time out. I do want to... This is a quick deviate. No, I'm not going to deviate. It's too important. So...
Go. Hit him.
So...
Get him.
Now, out of those 29 million people, those are the people that have been diagnosed. However, it's been going around our community undiagnosed. I know people that couldn't smell, taste before it was even located in the United States, before they knew how to test for it. So they were never counted. How about the people on the West Coast that in the Red Cross blood banks had the antibodies, which means they had COVID and they were cured from COVID all before December hit of 2019. So this has been going around for a really long time. So all these numbers are skewed. The deaths are skewed higher. The amount of people infected are skewed because people didn't get tested and they were infected for a long time before it was even known to be in the U.S. So the numbers are really skewed. But let's go back to the infographic. Not that infographic. We already know that one. Not that one. Jeez, what's happening?
Get your shit together.
Nope, not that infographic. Okay, so we're going to go now. 332,278,200 people, as per, of course, Wikipedia, but that's definitely in the ball field, of people that live in the U.S. There's no comments on Facebook. You know why that is, Danny?
Yeah, because they banned
Because I guarantee nobody's watching on Facebook because it's banned. So that's our population, which then if you do, again, simple mathematics that you should know, where are we at? 29,613,017 people have now natural, well, you got to minus out the people that died. I'm assuming that they didn't minus that. So I messed up slightly in the mathematics. But we have natural antibodies going around in the U.S. 124 million people have been vaccinated, which leaves you, if you take the deaths as well, at somewhere in 153,613,017 people with some form of immunity, whether lab created or created by their own immune system. Because remember, only 0.0182027% of the people that got this have died. So there's a lot of homegrown antibodies, like the way your immune system's supposed to work. Before we started doing...
We don't have immune systems anymore, John. They're not... This is the first virus we've ever had to deal with. People's bodies aren't prepared to fight against a virus.
You would think. I heard people are getting banned for talking about quercetin and vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc, sunflower lecithin, lysine. I talk about it all the time. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying it's going to cure anything. You're still going to get COVID if you get it, if your body... We don't know. Remember, everyone that's saying the vaccine's really good, cool, that's how they feel. They should go get it. However, we don't know anything about this virus. The other day, after 1 year, they decided you can be 3 feet from each other.
3 feet.
3 feet, fuck it! Who's paying for the new signage? I want to know. Serious question.
That was easy.
3
Okay.
feet. Who determined 3 feet?
3 feet. So, I'm sorry that I'm going back and forth.
They don't even give an explanation for it. I know the reasoning behind it is because they're like, well, we can't have schools open with 6 feet.
No, they
this
did
doesn't
it.
make sense. So they're like, just say it's 3 feet.
No, they
now.
did some sort of study, and they put Fauci on the spot. He's like, well, technically, it could be 3 feet. It could be. But we're going to get to so many technicals because everyone needs to wake the fuck up for real. So, now we have 46% some odd have immunity in the U.S. So let's figure out that herd immunity real quick, but we still don't know about all the people that actually have had it and don't know that they've had it. Also, we don't know how long it lasts in your cells where it can be found. Again, I use this term all the time. Take this to the bank, people, because it's a fact. I had my 3 hepatitis B shots in the 4th grade. Matter of fact, during one of them, I tried to beat up everybody in the office, and it took a nurse, my mom, and a doctor to hold me down because I was that scared of needles back then. I was told that I was an embarrassment, and I surely was. When it went in, I looked at it, and I was like, I didn't feel that. Adrenaline, hell of a drug. So when I went on with life, I got tested when I had to see if I had the antibodies, the titer for it. And they told me I had no hepatitis B titer. It's gone. So they gave me the next shot. I went and saw my own personal doctor, and he was like, why would you take that shot? You already had it. It's there. It's dormant. Your body is just not showing that you have it. Newsflash. Your immune system hides stuff. So even if you could get reinfected, it's been around the block, and you'll probably handle it better. Of course, I'll give it to the Facebook people. It's all conjecture. Just so is the vaccine and everything else that's gone on. We don't know. If you have a time machine, come visit me. I want to know. Right now. Okay, so let's go to the next infographic, and then we're going to start tearing shit down. Okay, infographic number 2. Cause of death, classification, and definitions of death. Definition of deaths. Okay, I'm going to read this to everybody, and you have to bear with me. Again, this is all CDC, because everybody loves to say, where do you get your information, John? And when I tell them the CDC, you see the brain go. The eye twitches, and they go, this can't be real, and then they won't accept it. I say
this all the time, is they're doing all this right in front of our faces. They don't even try to hide it, because they're not like, no, well, Cuomo does. Fuck that guy. So he'll just like change the numbers. Doesn't matter. Then we'll figure it out. But they do all this right in front of our faces, and people still choose not to see it. Yeah.
And what happens when you say the media tells people a certain thing, Facebook will tell people a certain thing, then they say that people only think this way because they're conservatives or they're Republicans or they're QAnon, and then nobody does research. How many of the people that tell you to wear your damn mask and get your damn vaccine and you were the problem have gone to the CDC website, actually looked at statistics like I did all day, drinking coffee, making these infographics? 0. They all feel a certain way, and then they've been told by Rachel Maddow and CNN that everything's cool. This is the truth. And they've accepted it. And you know what? They have plausible deniability because CDC will be like, well, it was up there the whole time. You just didn't look. They're not even hiding the information. Thank God. Because if you have a brain, you can still see it. So I'm putting it out there. I implore you to go look. I want you to do it. Because all of this is in front of everybody and no one's accepting it. So here we go. Mortality statistics are compiled in accordance with the World Health Organization. They did a great job. Regulations specifying that who member nations... Okay, well, let's get to the fun part. It's here. You can pause it when we're done, and you can read this. You can go to CDC and start doing some research. Tell your family, tell your friends, because we're done. We, the people, are done. We need to start having real conversation based on science and not conjecture and feelings. Because this is fucking 2021. We wasted a year of our lives, and we're going to show you exactly what I mean. By their own words, not mine.
I think you had a lot of coffee today, bud.
I did. I had a lot of coffee. Now I'm having whiskey and coffee. All right. So coronavirus disease deaths are identified using the ICD-10 code, which is U07.1. Deaths are coded to U07.1. When coronavirus disease 2019 or COVID-19 are reported as a cause that contributed to death on that death certificate. You had a heart attack, but you're COVID positive, it contributed. It made your heart go too fast. Do you think the same thing happens for the vaccines? We're going to get there. If your heart goes too fast, if you have a vaccine and drop dead, they won't even do an autopsy on you half the time. It's just coincidence.
Science, John.
Science. I'm going to get banned today. This is the end of our show. This is the end of our show, people.
You've done a really good job of not getting banned.
Screen recorded. I'm coming back. I'll just keep coming back. I'm going to be like the fucking herpes simplex virus of news. Of guerrilla news. Okay? I'm on fire today. Thanks, Black Rifle Coffee. All right. So these can include can include laboratory confirmed cases as well as cases within, and I see your comments and I will read them on Facebook Live on the Max. Thank you for the love and likes. Okay, so they can use laboratory confirmed cases as well as cases without laboratory confirmation. If the certifier suspects COVID-19 or determines it was likely the circumstances were compelling within a reasonable degree of certainty, conjecture, that can report COVID-19 as, quote, probable or, quote, presumed on the death certificates. COVID-19 is listed as an underlying cause on the death certificate in 92% of deaths. What? So they're not laboratory confirmed. And we all know this. If you have a brain, you've been reading this. You've been looking this up. I really implore you. We're going to post this to Max. We're going to post this to @WeThePeopleAreTheNews on Instagram. We are going to post this everywhere. We're going to post it on the YouTube. I need subscriptions, but that's neither here nor there. I care nothing. I care if I get canceled, I can never come back on. I care that the message gets out there of reality. This is all from the CDC.gov. I'm not making this up. Okay, so pneumonia deaths are identified using multiple cause of death codes from the 10th revision, okay? So excluding deaths that involve influenza deaths are identified by the ICD-9 code, some odd letters and yada yada, and include deaths with pneumonia or COVID. This is all double talk. So they don't include it, but they do include it, and it comes back to COVID-19 in some cases, and it doesn't have to be laboratory tested, which makes all these numbers that we see go up, which means the numbers might even be more minuscule, which might even make it 99.99999999999%.
But where's the flu, John?
We're going to get there. Because everyone wants to. Don't you want to know out there? How about you? I know I have the screen up a lot, and you could double stream this on Instagram on one device and then see the infographics on the Facebook. This is how OBS works. So this is how I could broadcast to you. These infographics I made are legit from the CDC. Okay? But where the fuck is the flu? It's a great question.
I don't know. Should we even believe the CDC at this point?
Well, they're giving us the numbers that are totally supporting the truth.
But they're even saying that the numbers are like...
But they have to. This is plausible deniability if there is a fallout from the vaccine, which I will give you more details. Why would I say that without having proof, Danny? Why would I do that? I wouldn't do that. Because that would be stupid. Instead, I'm going to stuff it down your fucking throats. You can regurgitate this tomorrow to your coworkers, and they're going to be like, I don't believe it, and where did you get your information? The CDC, and they go, well, you looked in a certain spot that's not real. They won't accept it, but you're going to have to force them to. Everyone's got to wake up. Okay, so geographic spread of influenza. Okay, by state and territorial by epidemiologists. Okay, let's read that. The geographic spread of influenza as reported by state and territorial epidemiologists indicates geographic spread of influenza virus does not measure the severity of influenza activity. So now they're giving themselves a way out. It doesn't measure it. It could still be severe, but they just don't know. Due to the impact of COVID-19 on the surveillance, on the ILI as it's called, surveillance, influenza, okay, and the fact that the state and territorial epidemiologists report relies heavily on ILI activity, reporting for the system will be suspended for 2020 through 2021 influenza season. Data from previous seasons of flu are available.
So what does that mean exactly?
That means they're not even tracking it. The flu doesn't exist. If you look at the map, it's all green. Everything's fine because are they exactly testing for the flu? Because it's PIC, pneumonia, flu and COVID are all looped together, and they all have these codes, and if you think it's COVID and it looks like COVID maybe, it's COVID.
It's COVID.
If it's lab tested, it's COVID. If you died from having an aneurysm burst that's been growing inside of your aorta for fucking 10 years, but you have COVID, it may have been COVID related. And I'm not getting into the whole how the money is deviated from the government and for COVID results. I'm not even getting to that. I'm just getting to how it's marked, and it's by the CDC. 92% of the people that are dying are being COVID deaths in most cases that have any type of symptom that is lung-related. Then they're not tracking flu. So how much are they testing for flu? And you'd say, and they say, this is the good one, this is the kicker, that it's the masks that have knocked down the flu season. Well, my droogies, as they'd say in A Clockwork Orange. Let's get to that infographic.
Got a lot of infographics, huh?
All from the CDC. Thanks for all the real information. If you want to look for it, again, it's there. And I also, if you go to Facebook, you could just take screenshots. I'm putting them all up.
Is there anything they actually know? Because everything's they just keep saying like, well, maybe this, or we have a good feeling of this. Because you know what? We shut down the entire economy. We kept kids locked away for an entire year, and we're still doing it on things that they're like, well, maybe. Maybe.
I have a question for you. When you were younger, did you ever take, like, you took responsibility when you did something wrong, I'm sure. But was there a time you were like, if I don't take responsibility for this, it'll go away? Do you ever come into that? Like, I'm trying to think of a specific example where it's like, maybe I won't take responsibility for this and it'll just go away and I'll just keep denying it. I just refuse to fucking take acceptance for what I've done. I've done it. Not many times, but I've done it. Some people do it all the time. Some people don't. Look at what's happening with Governor Cuomo at this exact moment. I don't even hear really much news about him anymore.
None.
It's gone.
Ugh,
he did
that's
it.
He set me up.
He said I ain't fucking leaving for 2 weeks, and everyone just dropped the news cycle. They're like, you know what? Guess he's not leaving. Guess there's no news here.
Carry on. For the investigation. You mean the investigation that the Attorney General already did?
Already happened. What investigation? About all of the sexual harassment charge? I don't know.
No, not even that. What's the difference? At this point, fine. First of all, how many women does it take?
Look at that cup.
Whatever. The Attorney General... John, you know my trigger points. The Attorney General already did an investigation. His office already admitted that they fudged numbers. Why is this guy still in office? What are we doing? This man is still governing a state. Why? How?
Because he said, no, I'm not accepting responsibility for fixing the numbers.
Then they want him to resign so that it goes away. They want him to resign because of sexual harassment charges, so the rest of the legislation and everybody else in charge that put this guy with so much power, they don't have to answer for it anymore.
Nope.
And I'm like, no. At this point, I'm like, yeah, don't resign. I don't want him to resign because I want him to take down all of them and say, if you're going to impeach me and take me down, I'm taking you all down with me. Because you know what? Take them all out.
Take them out.
Take them all out. All those politicians that sat there in New York and all these other states that gave these governors power as if they were kings, and now they're going to like, no, have them resign. California, they're probably like, yeah, do the recall. Do the recall election, get him out, because then we don't have to answer for why we gave these people power and we sat back, collected a paycheck while people's livelihoods and lives were ruined, while kids are killing themselves every single day, and we're just like, but wear your mask. Like, that's more important. What's more important? That I wear my mask in Costco while I can touch everything in that place? Or that we get our kids back into schools, learning, businesses back open. I'm going to lose it. Well, I'm going to lose it.
I like to anonymize people. So someone I know very well had COVID, and their whole family had COVID. The worst of the symptoms, and again, I understand everybody's different, and I understand you're rolling the dice just like if you take a vaccine or if you go get COVID, you could possibly drop dead. Again, you could drop dead from a litany of things. You might be the healthiest person in the world, and again, you have an aneurysm, and now you're sitting at home with 9 masks on, and you never go out. You don't get sick. You feel great. And you don't get sick. You don't get COVID. And you still die. Again, we all die. Somewhere along the line, we got so full of our egos that we thought it never happens. We thought we're going to get past this and we're going to live forever. Well, I have news for everybody. I don't know if this is actually news for the real woke people out there, but for the people that are asleep behind the wheel, you're going to drop fucking dead. I don't know when. You don't know when. And there's a really good chance it's not from COVID, from the numbers I've just showed you, from CDC. It's actually probably going to be from something else, completely entirely, even if you got COVID. You might not be able to taste your food for a little bit. But this specific family had COVID. The worst person had it for 36 hours. Fever. And on the 37th hour, went to the den and went back to work. And these people didn't stop living for the past year. At first, it was a little slow. When things opened, they started pushing the limits. My friends, it's up to the user on how they're going to go about life. You can sit for the next 4 or 5 years until they determine or keep updating these shots and these mRNA things that they decide to give you boosters. They said, the experts said, this might be here forever. It'll come back. You know that. So the thing is, when do you call it, I'm done going by this way and I'm ready to return to my life? And
I'm done.
I'm done too.
I'm done.
And when you decide to wear masks, good on you. Good on you. If you don't want to wear masks, good on you. You, honestly, are not my problem, and I am definitely not yours. And this isn't like, oh, you don't care about your common neighbor. No, 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 no. The CDC told me so, and I'm going to show you again. So, I mean, I could go on and on and on and on. And honestly, I probably will go on and on and on. Okay, well, this is the one. So, we already read this one. Hold on. No, we didn't read this one.
Yeah, you did. No, did you?
Did I not say? Oh, no, this isn't the right one. This is the one. Okay, down to face masks. Why is everybody so into the face masks? Well, you would think, well, it's going to stop everything. It's going to help to some degree. Like that much, but a little bit. Now, allow me to explain surgical masks by the CDC's definition. Face masks, as referred to in the study for influenza. Are we ready, people? So this is for influenza, which the influenza virus, if I'm not mistaken, is even bigger than the coronavirus in some cases. So the size of the particles. But let's get down to the face masks. In our systematic review, we identified that estimate the effectiveness of face masks in reducing laboratory-confirmed influenza virus infections in the community from literature published during 1946, July 27th, through 2018. In a pooled analysis, we found no significant reduction in influenza transmission with the use of face masks. Oh my God. One study evaluated the use of masks among pilgrims from Australia during the, I'm going to try and get this right, Hajj pilgrimage, and reported no major difference in the risk of laboratory-confirmed influenza. So you go through the whole thing. So let's see. Disposable masks, parentheses, also known as surgical masks, are loose-fitting devices that were designed to be worn by medical personnel to protect accidental contamination of patient wounds and surgeries. Okay, so if there's an opening, it's to keep your droplets, your personal droplets, out of their wound, and to protect the wearer against splashes or sprays of bodily fluids. So if the droplets are coming at you, you'll get some of that spit. But what about anything that's in particles that are not in your spit? Actually, in the droplets that are small, small, small. Not, I spat in your fucking face. Well, that's interesting. So there is limited evidence of their effectiveness in preventing influenza virus transmission, either when worn by the infected person or for source control worn by uninfected persons to reduce exposure. A systematic, don't use the word systemic in this, review found no significant effects of face masks on transmission of laboratory-confirmed influenza. None.
So let me get this straight.
Hold on, let me minimize.
So
commence.
CDC is saying that the masks do little to no effect of spreading the flu, but they're also saying that the flu is gone because of the masks.
Correct.
I'm done.
So their own research proves that it wouldn't alter the effect of the flu. And then they're bunching in the flu, pneumonia, and everything with COVID, and they don't have to laboratory test it, and there's no way to stop the transmission. And you need to stay 6 feet away from each other, of course, until 365 days elapse, and now it's 3 feet. I don't know exactly what I'm saying. I feel like I'm in crazy land. And again, you might hate this opinion, but it's not mine. It's factual on the CDC.gov. So, now, knowing everything that I've told you, this is where we're going to take it home. We're going to hammer this down. And I want you to show this to everybody because everybody should know before they go get their vaccine. It's up to them to get it because I fully endorse you to do whatever the fuck you want. It's your life. I am not going to tread on your right to do anything, but sure as fuck don't tread on mine.
That was easy.
So, let's load up infographic number 1. Knowing that, of course, you have to judge your own self-situation. If you have comorbidities and you're overweight and you're at risk and you're very old, sure, you might want to roll the dice on the vaccine that is not FDA approved. It's emergency approved, which means if you drop dead from it and the company comes out and says all the data proves that everyone will get cancer or drop dead from it, You can't do anything about it. So that in itself shows you probably should think about your risk versus reward. Also, if you're healthy, you have a 99.981797% chance of surviving this. So there is your facts. You need to decide, and we're almost at 50% immunity already. In the next couple of weeks, we're going to be well past that from the people that decide to get the vaccine. So you're ready. Knowing all of that, are you ready? Because this is where things are going to get fun. On the CDC.gov, there's a thing called VAEYERS, if I'm not mistaken. But you can look it up and Google will fix it. It's called VAERS. I've talked about it on this program before. But today, since it's not crashed and I took the time, since I was wired on caffeine, I don't know if you noticed that, I ran a report. And I'm going to show you some sickness. Now, you're not going to be able to read this, and that's why with the broadcast, I tried to render it in a way that you'd be able to see it, but it's a no-go. But you're going to see this. Danny, I want you to watch the screen as well.
Am I going to get upset?
Very.
Great.
Here we go. So this is a VAERS report for all vaccinations that are due for COVID in the United States. These are the adverse effects.
Are those words? What are they?
These are words, and I'm going to load it up and I'm going to read you a few in a few seconds, but I want the people out there to see. I tried to do it where you can pause it and see. Maybe you'll be able to. I don't know, after it's fully rendered and everything and it's on repeat. What you're going to see right now, this is why you need to show your friends this. This is why you need to share this, because this is going to be shadow banned as you've never imagined before. And this is hard information for people to accept because the people that can tell them what is going on in life and how to run their lives on media after they've lived their whole life thinking that the media could never mislead them and everything that you see outside of the mainstream accepted media is crazy talk.
All right, show us what it is.
Oh, no. I need you to see how much we're scrolling.
So these are words. These are adverse reactions.
This is all adverse reactions that have been reported to the CDC.gov, and you have to get a disclaimer then that say they haven't been all verified, and everything is not exactly positive, that it exactly happened as said. And yes, it's still ongoing. I'm going to have to let this scroll for another, because this is driving the point home. I have to let it scroll for another minute. How much data have you heard on the news besides it's safe, just take it?
Hurt your arm. That's what I heard.
You just hurt your arm, right?
Just hurt your arm.
Maybe a couple people got Bell's palsy. And there was a couple of people like in Europe that got massive blood clots from AstraZeneca. There was a couple of people that died in nursing homes, but they were supposed to die. There's a couple of people that died and they were like, well, 1 in a million. And there's a couple of people that died where they were like, well, we're not going to do an autopsy because it's just bad luck. Why would we do an autopsy? It had nothing to do with the shot. There's nothing linking it except, the shot that you won't investigate. And you won't officially approve, FDA, will you? They're going to take me out. I'm going to get taken out.
Come on, show us.
We're almost there. We're at 2 minutes, 30 seconds. There's still another minute and 19 seconds. These are all reactions.
Okay, so just show us.
No. I can't show you yet. I need the people on Facebook. Oh, I'm outlining something. I wonder what that is.
I feel like I'm in the Matrix.
We are in the Matrix.
Do some comments.
No. We're going to read comments. We're getting there. We're totally getting there. This is extremely, extremely, extremely important. Producer in the back, can you bring me that Catskills whiskey? I think I need some more.
A little please would have been okay.
Well, for the optics, I'm trying to act like she's. When am I done? Soon. You're driving.
I'm not driving.
Okay. Danny's dropping us off.
Okay.
So we're almost there. Are we getting the point?
Yeah.
Are you getting the point? Do you want to know what this is, Danny?
I want to know.
What you're seeing, get ready, because this ain't funny. My name's Mike D, and I'm about to get money. What you're seeing here is the effects in the past 20 days. This isn't since it started, because when I did that, it said it could not compute. CDC could not compute the U.S. results for the past... Since the vaccine was starting to be distributed in December. But everyone I know that's got it's like, I'm fine. Why don't you just get it? Well, for one, I rather huff a pile of fucking COVID sputum before getting it. And that's my right to make my own homebodied reaction to it.
Actually, they're trying to take that right away from you, buddy.
I will lick every doorknob in the greater New York City area. Lick everyone. No disease even exists anymore. It's just COVID. So I can't pick anything else up. I'll just get COVID.
Can't get the cold.
It's COVID and the clap. That's it. It's the only things that exist. Now, I kept it up so I can actually read to you some of the stuff. Let's just pick. Tell me when to stop. I'm scrolling. Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Okay. I'm going to read this one. Okay? She is experiencing an allergic reaction, rash, little coughing spell, itching eyes. Her quote was, "My eyes started itching, multiple hives all around her right ear, wheezing, didn't feel comfortable. Her upper lip became puffy, bottom lip began to swell."
That's normal.
This is a spontaneous report from a contactable nurse and patient via medical information team. An 81-year-old female patient received the first dose of Pfizer BioNTech COVID-19 mRNA vaccine, lot number EN601, intramuscular upper left arm on February 21st, so her reactions came out later, at 8:30. Single dose for COVID-19 immunization. The patient had no prior vaccination within 4 weeks. The patient had no additional vaccines administered on the same day. Medical history included seasonal asthma, allergy to Class A antihistamines, and started in her 20s. Facial and peripheral edema, blood pressure abnormal, celiac disease. The patient had a known allergy to Benadryl, which is never good because Benadryl stops allergies. And when she takes it, gets peripheral facial edema. So this will go on. I could scroll, and every now and then you land on patient's dead, no idea if they're doing an autopsy type of situation, as we've seen in the actual news if you watch the news. Okay? We're getting there. I'm sorry. I know I'm scrolling around. COVID test result was positive. Sore throat, headache, aches, still sick. This is a spontaneous report from a contactable consumer. A 72-year-old male patient received the first dose on let's see. You go.
So you know what, John? I want to bring something up.
Bring it up.
So we're sitting here. We got some people watching with us, and you and I discuss some of this every once in a while. We're all kind of in agreement on, we're like, we see what's going on.
Yeah.
How do we get... It almost seems like people are brainwashed, and I'm sure that they think that we're brainwashed. How do we get people to see this? Because it's like what you say. You go to work,
listening. I just want to get the brainwash up.
You go to work, and you have discussions with people, and you show them this information, and they still act like it's not there. They don't want to see it.
Correct.
And, I had conversation with a family member today. Just like, nah. What do we do? Do we just stop trying to get people to see it?
No.
And just say there's enough of us? What do we do? Because we're driving ourselves nuts trying to get people to understand what's actually going on.
You don't give a fucking inch. And it's fine. If you want to live, it's your right to live behind this wall. It's your right to, if you want, be a sheep. Or do whatever you want to do. It's your right. But when you listen to the media, and this is what you have in the corner of the Facebook feed, the upload from the social media, from the media, from people's opinions, is in fact the problem. Whisper. So this is the problem, and it's your right to believe whatever you want. As you know, me and you are trying to get involved with any. We just don't want to be impeded on.
Yeah.
But I will not accept your opinion and your misbelief as I have actual scientific data that you don't want to read. I've had this conversation. I told you I've had this conversation. I've showed the website, and it's all of a sudden CDC is not right, or I'm reading some skewed version, and none of these people have done research for themselves. That's problematic, but do not tell me to repeat the complete incorrect information you're saying. And it's your right to get the vaccine if you're worried about that 0.01111% chance if you're healthy or not healthy. This is including people that were very, very unhealthy. If you go to healthy individuals, like I said, my chance of being hospitalized as per 23andMe, knowing my situation, my blood type, my age, my workout situation, is non-existent. To go to the hospital, we're not talking about dying. So, yes, I have the same chance of dying from COVID as getting hit by a car right now in the middle of the street, I'll take the chance. And that's my right. You can still pass COVID possibly if you get the vaccine. You might need re-ups of the vaccine. The vaccine could cause horrible things in the future. And what I'm saying cannot be debated. I will go in front of Congress with Fauci and have this conversation. Maybe somebody needs to actually debate him. That's not part of it.
He's the only one that keeps doing it.
He does.
Guy's the man.
And I'd love to give Rand Paul some of my questions, because everybody has different questions. And I'm telling everybody to do the right thing and do whatever you want to do for yourself. But to say, and it's happening, and everyone's saying, oh, well, it's like you said, and like we've seen on posts, it's conspiracy theory to think that you're going to need a passport and
Everyone
proof.
kept saying, they're like, you won't need a vaccine passport. Oh, restaurants won't have to check a vaccination card. We're here. It's here.
And what did you say today in your message? You said
my mini rant when I woke up.
Yeah, you said the more people that get it, the closer we are to needing it.
Yeah, so once a certain percentage gets vaccinated, that's all they're waiting for. Is once kind of the majority of people have it. They might do it right at 51% and say, like, majority of people have it, now we can just shame everybody else into it. And
who's going to police it?
The people. People police it.
That's right.
They don't need anybody to police it. NYPD's not going to go around and be like, no. Because it's supermarket, it's the restaurant owners. Why? Because, let's say you came to my bar. State Liquor Authority is going to tell me when they walk through the door, hey, I want to see everybody's vaccination card. Oh, this one person doesn't have it? That's a $10,000 fine, and we're taking your liquor license.
Didn't think about that.
Taking your liquor license. Why?
Florida's not going to do that.
I can't get to Florida soon enough.
Me too.
Someone just take me in.
and you know what the crazy part about the whole thing is? If you choose, and this is where capitalism comes in, you go, well, 98% of the people decided to get vaccinated eventually, so we're going to move to having checked people's paperwork and QR codes.
Let me see your papers.
Because
what does that sound like?
That will keep, what does it sound like? But that'll keep our money flowing, because the vaccinated people don't want to give in to the non-vaccinated people. So once it becomes the minority, business owners will be like, I got to keep my business open. I'm going to go to it. So the problem is people aren't standing up. People are not standing up. They're already canceled. And I say this every fucking time on this program. You are canceled if you stay quiet just to stay safe. You're done. You might as well be Mr. Potato Head. Cut off your genitalia. It's over. The ship has sailed. You cannot be scared to say something, and you cannot be scared to raise hell if somebody does wrong by you in the aftermath. You could be respectful during the discourse, but if you're like, oh, my job's going to come from me, people are going to cancel me, I'm not going to be able to make a living. Oh, no. You have to be ready to rain hellfire on this. I'm ready. You need to be ready, and ship sailed.
I don't even know where I am. I took the boat out to sea, and then the boat went down, and now I'm just swimming in the ocean by myself.
And he's not waving a white flag.
Like,
he's got the "Don't tread on me" flag, and he's like, I ain't fucking drowning.
They're like, you gotta come back. You have no boat, and I'm like, no, I'm here.
It's literally up to us, because people, ASMR, people will not accept the factoids I just showed, and I didn't make them up. They will reject science in the name of science. They will reject you in the name of their feelings, and they will throw tantrums when you're looking at them like they are mentally unstable. I'm sorry if it offends mentally unstable people that want to wear 18 masks after being vaccinated, that do not want to go out. I think you took a big risk. That's my opinion, and it's your risk to take. Can somebody, again, did they invent time machines and you watch this, come back and just walk into my...
There's no more world.
There is no...
There's no more world.
Come back and tell me if there's any adverse reactions. Again, Johnson & Johnson had asbestos in their baby powder for the longest time. They knew it caused uterine cancer.
I say this all the time. Like, with Johnson & Johnson, knew there was asbestos in baby powder. For what, like a decade?
Yeah.
And they were just like, it's okay. Because
4 years, 5, whatever it was.
They could know they could know that their shot, I'm not even going to call these vaccines, that their shot, there can be really, really bad. They have trillions of dollars invested in this. They've already shown that we put asbestos on babies. You think they care whether you got a shot in 10 years, 15 years down the line that something bad was going to happen to you? You think they would pull it and say, we got to pull this now?
What's the rule of Fight Club? Do you remember it?
What?
The rule? No, not that rule. The rule is we don't do a recall if the amount of possible cases times the payout is less than doing a recall. We don't do one. We'll just do the payout.
But they can't even get in trouble for it, so...
No, this one, there is no trouble.
Yeah, there's no trouble. There's no lawsuits.
So if there's no lawsuits and they go, and you can't possibly know, again, first time mRNA vaccinations are ever used. If in 5 to 10 years everyone has a major, major problem, not everyone, 40%, 30%, maybe 20% of the population drop dead in 10 years. If it happened, all conjecture, but this is hypothetical and it needs to be heard. You can't do anything about it. They say, sorry for your loss, move on. It was an emergency approval. You sign your rights away when you get that injection because it's not FDA approved. How about this? I issue a challenge to the FDA. Approve it. You keep saying it's safe and effective. Approve it 100%. Okay. Put your money where your mouth is. Tell people they could take their masks off that at least are willing to take it. I'm going to take my mask off whenever I want to take my mask off because I will stand 3 to 4 feet, 5 feet from somebody so they don't spit directly in my fucking mouth. But I know I could still get it the entire time. And I know I will be sick. And maybe I'll even have some sort of adverse reaction. Maybe I'll die. But guess what? I'm well aware that I'm going to die. Mourn me for the fact that you loved me if you love me. Hate me if you hate me. I don't give a fuck.
I think people hate us.
No, I bet you don't. Most of you don't. Most of you don't. Because you're watching. But share this because people need to wake up. We're going to go to comments.
Is it bad? Like, I'm kind of giggling inside knowing that someone's watching this and their head's freaking out, like yelling at us right now.
Yeah, no, it's weird that you won't go to the CDC.gov and hashtag follow science. That's what's weird. Because science.
When people are still like, we have to follow the science. No, I gave up on the science when they showed 1.4% spreads in restaurants and bars, and we still followed it and kept everything closed. No, science, no.
I got a question.
I'm done.
Argument's sake. Question. How do you track that?
I don't know.
You want to know what? I went to my first restaurant like last night on Staten Island in a long time, and it's like hair cutters and other businesses. You know how many people actually document you and take your temperature? Less than 1% of the places I've been. And what about CVS? When you're online and you're trying to get vitamins, it's literally in the pharmacy aisle. People are hacking, and you're like, I just tried to pick up some vitamin C, bro. I'll probably be flagged because they just translated this as vitamin C, and you can't talk about vitamin C because the more you know. I'm so Madonna mia. Let's see the comments. Rolling in on the Max page. It's not banned, we are here. True, but it's the amount of people that they tell. They usually put a notification out. Sometimes it's to 20, sometimes it's to 100.
If you look at the numbers, they're banning it.
I'm watching on Facebook. We love that you're watching. I'm here. We've got...
I have to read all.
I do. I just read. I've got sign.
Oh, by the way, Max won't be open today because I just need I stopped by here. I'm going to play with the kids. Right before this, I was playing... What was it? Princesses.
Princesses.
I was playing Princesses. John's like, you coming here? I said, I'm playing Princesses.
Cinderella.
I was Cinderella. So I'm taking a personal day today. So Max is going to stay closed and then we'll see what happens tomorrow.
So somebody said, okay, we have broadcasted the problems, but what's the solution? The solution is driving it home. And when people are having the mental breakdown, you say to them, what about the data do you dispute from the CDC.gov? You have to say, you can't just say the CDC.gov. You have to say the CDC.gov or Centers for Disease Control, whichever one you prefer.
How have you not gotten into like a fist fight at work yet?
I don't actually...
No one actually hit you?
I don't have a job. This is my jobby. But no one's hit me. We've had great debates.
It's definitely come close.
No, because most people agree with me from where I'm at. Okay. But, so the solution is you can't give in. Don't give in an inch. Eventually, they'll be like, why am I living like this? I'm already vaccinated because these people that you argue with are going to be vaccinated already. And good. Get the herd immunity up so we can move on to some degree.
Oh, remember, we should just stop talking about this because COVID's almost over.
That is also the recommendation.
COVID's almost over, people. We can just stop.
Just stop.
Just stop.
I was at an establishment last night.
Lose it.
I was at an establishment last night, as you would know. I'm not going to say names, but there's signage, no dancing allowed. Can you go back in time and tell yourself when you were younger that in 2021 you think there's going to be flying cars, there's going to be all this great thing. You say the common cold that kills 0.01% will shut the fucking world down. Are you ready? And there'll be signs like it's footloose that you can't dance. That was the sign. Dancing is prohibited on the premises.
Did you see California? The roller coaster thing?
Oh,
it's
yeah,
real.
yeah, I know it's real. Tell them.
What are they going to do?
Tell them.
You can't scream on a roller coaster? What happens if you're just that afraid and you scream?
You have the scream machine when it existed.
What are you going to do? They're going to, when you get off, they're going to be like, come with me? What?
Yeah. What are they going to close the ride and be like somebody yelled on the, they put their arms up and yelled?
You know what I'm really bummed about today?
Outside doing 60 miles an hour.
I saw another video today. I'm so, like, I really wanted to go to Hawaii. And, like, I was like, I want to move to Hawaii. Like, why do I live in New York? Let's go to Hawaii.
I thought about that a few times.
I'm like, let's go. Hawaii's just like New York, but just like a paradise, basically. Where the cops are saying they're broadcasting. There's 30 of them standing side by side next to each other, broadcasting to people in a field, saying that they have to disperse because there are more than 10 people. And I'm like, first of all, you're 30 people. And what are you doing? You're people, like... How? How are they enforcing this? I'll tell you right now. The worst people out of all of this are the police officers or any of them. Any peace officers, police officers, any law enforcement that's actually enforcing these policies.
They're out of their minds.
It's terrible because most of them you'll even talk to like, we don't want to do this. Just following orders. Well, you know what?
Then don't do it.
Fuck you guys.
Don't do it. You know how many people let people go for getting tickets?
That was easy. I don't curse much on this. You do.
But I'm a drunken sailor. I honestly don't know, like, how many people go, oh, you were speeding, you have a PBA card, like, these things happen, everybody knows these things happen. If I was a cop, honest to God, like, and I know NYPD is already doing the right thing.
NYPD is.
If I was, I'm gonna go out on a limb. Me, by myself, it has nothing to do with him. And I told this to the sheriff as I was recording the night that they took him out of the bar in front of everybody and sparked a worldwide story. I said to them, you guys, I don't know if you have a union. I don't know what it takes for you to do the right thing. But it's time for you to stand up and just say no. Now this, I have to explicitly state because I don't want to get sued, is an opinion. I believe, and tell me if anyone out there thinks I'm wrong, okay? You have your comments. Cuomo told, after everybody told Cuomo and de Blasio to kindly fuck off, they were told, if the New York City Sheriff's Department does not follow the rules and end this problem and enforce these rules, there's not really a need for your department and we will liquefy you and everybody will be jobless. If a whistleblower was to come forward, Project Veritas, I have their number. I've been on the line with them. I've talked with them. And this guy I used to know named Joe, God rest his soul. And, fuck with you, Joe. And if you would come forward, you could slide into my DMs. I will anonymize your name. There will be no recourse. There is a place for you. There is a place for you. Even if it is having balls or a vagina the size of a grapefruit. Doing the right thing and coming forward in what is happening right now is the most imperative, most meaningful action you'll probably ever do in your entire existence on planet Earth. I do believe that they enforce these rules because Cuomo, the same guy who threatens politicians in his own party, threatened them with their livelihood. There's no one on God's green earth in the United States of America. Yeah, that's what they go. And they said this about when I said that they framed this guy. I said, I had people debate me. Yeah, they like Cuomo even can't. He did fucking press conferences. De Blasio did press conferences saying he was a murderer, even though their science proved he's not, even though the CDC science proves, even if you wear a mask, if you wear 15 masks, if you wear a box of masks taped to your face with a plastic bag overhead and you die of asphyxiation, that you can still get COVID. Well, maybe not the plastic bag while you're dying. But the point of this is there is deep, deep corruption. I'm not scared to say it. I'm not scared to call it out because, as Conor McGregor would say, and God, I ask you all for forgiveness. I'm not going to say it. I'm a fresh see you next Tuesday.
That was easy.
I will not, and I cannot physically and idly stand by as all of these sheep, I'm talking millions of people. People have been coming to his bar from as far as Texas in the past 48, 72 hours.
Yeah, that was cool.
And they were like, what you're doing is great. And what are the people of Staten Island and New York doing for the most part? We thought this place would be packed. We thought people would be going out. They're around all the other bars, packed to the gills by people who put their tails between their legs for all of these months. Did nothing. And they're overpacking right now. They're putting up the signs, 6 feet, no dancing. Everyone's dancing. There's more than 100% of people in there. They're keeping people longer to run up their alcohol tabs, and good on them. They need to make their money. But wake up. Nobody's really doing what they're saying they're doing. They're just acting to make it go away. He's one of the only people. And in Michigan, I'll be right with you. In Michigan, they put somebody in prison for 93 days for opening their business as a public nuisance. And everyone's going to sit there and go, well, I'll just act like I didn't do it. And they'll let it happen. But they're going to come for you. They're going to come for you. They're going to overstep their bounds. And this is not America. This is not a free country when we let it go. And when are we going to start up? We're going to start up at some point. We're going to be like, now I got balls. In the words of the real Tina 40, the fuck out of here with that shit.
That was easy.
Yeah. At what point do we say, we're going to stop, we'll stop them now. We'll stop giving up our freedoms now.
I don't know.
I don't know. Just your daily reminder that Cuomo killed Grandma. And I don't say that as a joke. I'm saying it to be serious because I know that there are people out there that their grandparents or parents did die in these nursing homes. And this is your reminder that it didn't go away, that I didn't forget about it. It seems like they're trying to sweep that whole scandal under the rug and say sexual harassment claims. And now it just seems to be going away the last 2 weeks.
Okay, so that's the episode. Oh, yeah, he'll drive. Yeah, we're good. Go.
I got
you. Go. That is not the episode. I fucking lied. Yeah, I'm sorry. Don't rush. I got it.
This is Welcome to Sunday episode.
Chicken parm plus chicken and broccoli and zucchini.
Chicken
Yes.
parm sounds great.
Yes. Very good. I will see you there. Keep me posted. Okay, so this is not the episode. We got a lot of comments coming in, and
It's not Saturday.
Yeah.
Is it?
So about the Saturdays for the boys sign, let me explain this to you. I had a really nice selection of flags that I used to put up behind me.
I took them all back.
And Danny took them all back.
I hang them all up at Max. I just alternate flags. Tell people, if you see the flags hanging outside, Gadsden flag, the come get it flag, I'm in there.
That means
it means the pirate ship's sailing.
And again, I need to bring this even more closer to the heart. So you have to understand like the personal issues and debates that come up from this program, from what he's doing, from my involvement with it. And people close to me tell me, like, why are you doing this? You don't own that bar. You know, just why don't you just stay quiet and wait for this to hopefully all pass? Because if nobody will do it, nobody will feel comfortable to jump on. What was the quote you said before? That people that are patriots afterwards, that jump on afterwards?
It's easy.
To jump on after?
Yeah. Somebody, I don't.
You got to do.
On my phone, so.
You got to do the uncomfortable thing of being the person.
You're by yourself.
And
like,
the words.
Theoretically, like, kind of, what is it? Because I kind of am by myself because nobody in New York's done anything. It's honestly how many millions of people live in New York? How many millions of business owners and just people? And I'm on this little tiny island trying to
I'm waving. It's just somebody.
Like,
we need
hey,
more people.
Like when I was on the roof and yelling at people, like, I don't need an attorney general's investigation to know that Cuomo's like lying to us all. And
they gave him
all
an
this.
Emmy. I love when they do the montage on the news too that
I
show
think his
all the
book's
people.
still in circulation. What is happening?
People don't want to know. People don't want to be informed. And again, to be a patriot and to take the word patriot because that offends some people that think that it's wired to. A patriot is not a Republican, not a Democrat, definitely not a socialist though. But it's being an American and doing what's right for freedom. I don't care what your political alignment is. So what I'm doing when I say I'm trying to keep media coverage for him from me and anything that I do to help him, it's not just because he's my friend, it's because he's doing the right thing. And I offered this to other businesses, but no other business would do anything. Like, I wanted to do a whole series of helping small businesses when this was just about small businesses. But nobody would open. You're like, I broke the ice, jump on in, now's the time. And everyone just looked at you and like, fuck you, Danny. Fuck you. Drown slowly in the icy waters.
They're still just sitting out there
That
like,
was easy.
please, government, can we have our money now? What happens if they never give it to you? What do?
I guess you just don't rage.
Because they still haven't given anything.
You don't rage. You go slowly or fastly into the dark night. I don't
Just to
know.
let people know kind of what's happened, there's the PPP money, which is basically redistribution of unemployment. Then, a whole bunch of businesses took out tremendous small business loans. Tremendous. Like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Even small places, it was like, okay, if I could get it, I'm going to get this $100,000 or $150,000 small business loan. They're like taking another mortgage out. So now you have a payment for the next 30 years. People, tell me how many businesses last 30 years. How many? It's
Not
like
many.
zero.
No, zero. People are
It's like
retiring
zero.
before it lasts.
So now, but I get it. People are like, you know what? If I don't take the loan out, my business is gone. And I need to be able to pay myself, so let me take out the loan and I'll figure it out later. Or it'll be forgiven. Well, what if it's not forgiven? And why don't you just open up your doors? I can't even get into this again.
And it's true. So unknowingly, Bella writes, has the bunnies first of all. Hope they're good. Writes, it's about politicians trying to control the population and being successful as the public follows blindly without exercising their rights. Again, if Cuomo came out initially, not now, the ship sailed. Like, fuck off.
In the beginning and said, I messed up.
I messed up. No one understood the virus fully. He just made a mistake in judgment. And he owned it. And he could not be blamed. But to go, I understand I fucked up. I don't want federal investigation. So what I'm going to do is change the numbers, write a book, and everyone's just going to think I'm great. The media is already on my side because the media is going to do that because they're told to in their CNN briefings as shown by Project Veritas. So all's good. It'll just go away. I'll never take ownership. Then it comes out and he still says no. And then all of a sudden it comes out more and it's like, okay, kind of maybe did. I don't know. And then it's like, you know what would really help right now? If I molested a couple of people. Because that'll take the fact off that I killed 10,000 people plus, maybe. And it'll be like, he grabbed somebody by the vagina. It worked when they did it for Trump. So maybe it'll just redirect everything to me grabbing coochie. And you know what? God, that worked.
It worked.
The sheep are like, bah! Vagina grab.
Again, I'm like waving over here. I'm like, yes, is the sexual harassment thing bad?
And it's bad.
Absolutely. It's bad. But I'm like, hey, don't forget about this.
But they moved to that for 2 solid weeks. He said, I'm not fucking leaving.
No,
like
he's not.
Jordan Belfort, played by Leonardo DiCaprio. And now they're like, well, I guess he's not leaving, so
And
there's
look
no
what
story.
the state legislature did. They were like, we're going to take his powers away from him. And then everyone's like, yeah! And people are calling me and they're like, what does that mean? Aren't you happy to take his powers? I'm like, they didn't take anything away from him.
I was one of them. I was like, I read a headline in between being busy. I was like, well, tell me what you know about it.
Danny, Cuomo's powers are gone. That's it. No more mandates. And I'm like, that's what you think? I'm like, they just said he can't make new ones. Like, what new ones could they possibly make? We're a year into it. You gonna make more? And that's why he was like, I'll sign this. And it's just a charade. And they created another facade, another house of cards they built right in front of us. And we're like, oh, that looks like...
Did you expect
That's
people?
nice.
Did you expect people to research it and look into it? They
No.
won't even go to
Who reads that
CDC.gov and
headline?
actually look into the site.
I'm like, this guy's still governing the state. How is this possible?
Like,
Just start the impeachment process. Because you know what? The impeachment process, once it starts in New York, he's removed. He's removed from power immediately, and all power is taken away.
Well,
and then if
they're never going to do it.
If he's not convicted of it, then he goes back into power. So I'm pretty sure that everyone's in agreement. Take this guy out, do the proceeding. They're not even telling us how long it is. They're like, we're doing an impeachment investigation, and that's it.
I'm sorry, I'm going back to this. Anybody from the sheriff's department, I'd really like you to come forward and let me know exactly what went down from the top down, not from the foot up.
Cito's a joke.
Not him.
I've heard
Cuomo's hand is this deep up that guy. We're not talking about that. This has gone to forearm, not fisting. God, there I go. I'm sorry, guys. It's the Catskill whiskey. All right, so on the real, I want somebody from that department. Again, you don't have to come forward with your name. Just tell the story to me. I will forward it. I have Project Veritas. They're on the line, essentially. And they said when you find somebody inside that sheriff's department that's willing to tell the story, contact us. We all know they did not shut the restaurants down until they can shut him down. And that was the moment that they were saying everything's closed. On faulty science, don't even worry about what I told you about in the CDC. It's irrelevant. It was faulty on their own science, let alone the CDC.gov. And everybody's got to wake up. And you could wear all your masks. I'm not going to judge you. I don't care if you come out in an N95 and you live the rest of your life panting and trying to do jump rope with an N95 on. You've been fed a extremist amount of bullshit. Is things dangerous? Possibly. Is it most likely not? Yes, 99.99999% not. Depending on know you and do not tell other people that they have to be responsible for you. I didn't birth you. You are not related to me. I only wish you the best. I'll do the best I can for you. I'll even stay 6 feet from you. But don't tell me that we cannot get back to the real world.
Yeah, in Honolulu, police. I'm disgusted. I don't even want to go back to Hawaii now. Can't do it.
What about Miami? Has anybody been abreast of Miami? And I love all the comments that are coming in on Max, the Instagram. I've been seeing them come in and out, and I wish I could read them, but all I got is the Facebook feed. For me to read it, like we have to scroll, and then we have to stop.
Get up in there.
Like right here.
John's getting up.
Vegan Tard says, the investigation is not even I can't speak judicial right now. Oh my God, I had too much whiskey.
That's why I stuck the coffee today.
So... I don't know.
It's not. That's what I mean is they're going to stretch out this process in New York
Forever.
with Cuomo until no one cares about it anymore.
You want to talk about conspiracies? Here's a good one.
Just come on down to Max starting tomorrow and everyone have a drink.
Hear me out. Here's a good conspiracy since we all like one, right? Imagine this was released by a lab. Imagine there was real New World Order implications about it, and they were like, let's put something out that we could scare the public, right? And they were like, fuck it, let's make it act like it's really super deadly. It'll spread a lot, it'll kill some people, and then we'll get them vaccinated. Now, Matt, I'm not even going to say there's a nefarious reason for the vaccination. I'm not going to go there. There's just here and now. We put this out. Imagine if there was another pandemic that came along and anyone on the news like, can't go out of your house. How many people would be like, fuck you, I'm going out?
Like with one that was like killed like 50% of the people.
Exactly. Like Ebola. Listen, if this was Ebola, let me explain to you. When Ebola was breaking out and Obama wouldn't close the borders and they were taking Ebola patients here, that people that went involved. Listen, if you volunteer to go to Africa and you get Ebola, you did really good for humanity. You helped. Sorry about your loss. Do not come back to the fucking country. Bring Ebola with you. But they did. And Obama was like, I'm not closing the borders. And I was like, fuck you. What did John do? I went to My Patriot Supply and bought a fucking 6-month supply of food for 2 people. 25-year shelf life. Everyone was like, you're fucking nuts.
Should we eat it?
We could. It's under the bed in my parents' house. But everyone was like, John, you're fucking nuts. And I was like, no, My Patriot Supply is 25-year shelf life. I get breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert. 6 months. Me and my girl. That was what I thought, right? And my parents like, fuck you, man. And now you're storing it here because
you get Ebola, do you die?
you die.
I don't really know.
You really die. Like, I'll take any
So is it
experimental
just
vaccination.
100% of people die?
No, it's really in like the 90s, I think. Like, you get Ebola. I think if they, John, you have Ebola, I'd be like, where's the handgun? And I just blow my brains out. I don't want to go that way.
I think I'd survive.
I blow my brains out. That'd be me. So Ebola is raging on right now, like in Africa right now. And people are like, oh, there's some guidance about that. I'm like, if you throw Ebola on top of this, like, fuck off. I'm not leaving the basement. There ain't no masks. I ain't going out. I'm going to fucking eat drywall before I have to go scavenge for food amongst the zombies.
I'm going to hole up in Max.
But that's what they expect. They expect all the people that are conservative are going to go outside and be like, I don't give a shit. And everyone's going to drop dead if it's Ebola. I'm telling you right now. I know they've been working on vaccines for a very long time, and I'm sure they'll be very eager to test those out on the general public under an emergency use clause because they're safe. I'm winking.
Anything else we got to touch on?
Just don't get Ebola. If it's Ebola, it was a plan. Don't leave your fucking house. You'll liquefy. You'll bleed out your eyes dead.
Outbreak. Let's watch Outbreak.
I watched that in the beginning of this. I had to show Christy that.
In the beginning, when this all came out, this isn't even a joke. In the beginning, they're like, it came from a bat. I'm like, go find the bat. I watched Outbreak. They had to find the monkey. What happened to that bat? Remember?
No, it's not a bat anymore.
Yeah, I know it's not a bat.
It's a penguin, and it's something else now, and that no one will know. China won't let us know.
What the fuck? What is happening?
I don't know. Let's wait. The problem, we know the entire history of the Kardashian clan, but no one knows anything about our rights, the Constitution, and how we are able to
There's not going to be a Constitution left. But I'm telling, within like another year, it's gone. It's going to be like an artifact. Like, oh look, this was back in the day when we had this thing called the Constitution of the United States. It governed everything that we did for about almost 250 years, and then we decided, a few higher-ups decided we're not going to follow it anymore.
I have a quick question. Unknowingly, Bella, are you still watching? Because I'm going to make a prelude to an announcement that I intended to make, but I've been busy with Max. If you're watching Unknowingly, Bella, you can leave a comment, and if you're not, that's okay. I'm still going to make this statement. Very shortly, I'm going to declare my... Yep, she's watching. I'm going to declare my governorship in New York. I am now the unofficial governor of New York. You just don't know it yet.
Okay, we got it.
But I'm going to announce I'm going to put like a suit on and everything. And I'm going to explain why. I'm going to explain to the politicians how I will never berate them. And I will explain how I will own if I fuck up. And I will explain this is only until I decide to run or until a worthy person comes along. Because somebody's got to be the voice of reason. There's a multitude of reasons why I'm doing this. Today, while I'm drunk on whiskey, is not the day to declare this. I'm not going to put on a facade and act like I never drink whiskey. I do. I love Proper 12. This isn't Proper 12. But there's a reality that needs to take place, and the people need to actually say what's happening. And I get that I'm not really the governor. I'm just going to put out directives, and it's up to the people how to go about it. And if you watch the show, you'll be like, shit, I really wish he was the governor. Because no more wannabe fucking Cuomo mob family bosses. No, it's over, bro. It's done. Real world is taking over. Okay? The real people are taking over. We're done. There's no more misleading us and treating us bad. I almost just fucking launched that. It's over.
That was easy.
So to everybody out there, I will declare my governorship soon. Everyone out there, Max tomorrow.
Maybe. I'll give an update on what's going on. City's coming after Max again. It's honestly, it's a bad joke. I'd say it's a joke. It's like, what's going on? I don't know. So I'm going to give an update on Mac's situation. But for this week, operated a whole lot without licenses, full closure orders, and all that. Because, again, their pieces of paper made them feel special that they would post on the door. There's no postings. Yeah. A lot of good people came by from all over. And anybody, if you did come by, I know we had kind of nobody from Staten Island. It was just all over the place.
I know.
Last night, Long Island, Queens, Manhattan, Brooklyn, everyone's coming out. Jersey. Really, really good people. It was great to meet you. And let's hope we can do it this week. Because as long as I can get in there, I'm going in. So I'll give an update on what's going on. I'm sure... weird thing, courts just don't operate on the weekend, so that's why I'm going back in.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out, and Again, I know people like it's foolish to put your faith in judges in the courts, but still going to put a little bit of faith in it because
someone's going to stand up.
There still has to be some good people out there, and let's hope corruption isn't on every single level. Even though, again, I know they're like, Danny, like, what are you talking about? There's corruption everywhere. I know, but someone has to say that piece of paper that our founding fathers all signed, it was like they had a time machine. It's like they knew exactly what to protect us from this time.
But if nobody's willing to do it.
We need the Constitution right now, and now they're trying to get rid of it. There's a reason why they're trying to get rid of it, and it's because it's protecting us from exactly what they're trying to do.
Yep. Well, that's the episode. Follow at We the People Are the News on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook. We're always on Max. It's the same exact thing when it comes to the media purposes. YouTube, I will put this episode up in the bio. That's the page to go to subscribe. It'll be up in about 30 minutes or so, or maybe an hour. And it's important we get those subscriptions for the message. They're trying to cancel us everywhere because, why not? I will see everybody soon. We're not on our usual schedule while all of this is ongoing, but we'll try to do updates here and there, and it won't be at 6 p.m. It'll be everywhere. And it won't be on Mondays and Thursdays. It'll be wherever. And hopefully I'm not breaking live when they're trying to snatch and grab Danny like he's Blukowski in old school.
They're trying to lock me up like I got kids locked in the basement or something, or I'm dealing heroin. It's insane. We're locking up business owners.
God forbid you serve a Bud Light. All right, everybody. We the People Are the News. Use your voice. Share it. Spread it.
Love you guys.
Speak, or you've been canceled. Don't be having a fear of being canceled because then you've already been a cuck to the cancel culture. Speak. We the People Are the News. Everybody, peace out. We have to close that individually on there, so I'm going to stop recording, stop stream. Goodbye, everybody.